Okay, I apologize about that.
Oh, yeah, no worries. And then, Ms. Pressler, if you do not mind, I am going to bring in Jeremy Loveville as well, our CEO, so we can all have the conversation and we can all be on the same page and hopefully get a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Just Ms. Pressler, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Loveville's in here with us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Ms. Pressler. It's Jeremy Ludville.
Hi.
All right, Ms. Pressler, just so we can all get started on the same page here, if you want to just share the situation and just kind of talk through where your frustrations are so that we can work on getting a resolution together.
So I'm just gonna touch base because we had this little incident yesterday between me and Mr. Boyd. We are speaking in regards to the suspension.
Well, I'm calling. I just wanted to follow up on because I had heard that you wanted me to call back or the CEO to call back. So I want you to share.
Yeah, so just let me explain that a little bit because it doesn't seem like it's clear on your guys' end. I did not request the CEO. I did not ask for him personally. That is what was stated to me by Bridget Abston. That was the next steps in her email that she had sent me, was that she was going to forward this to the CEO because you were already in the meeting that we had had with the principal on the day of the suspension. So my understanding was that was just the next steps because usually, you'd go up the chain of command. You'd go principal, assistant superintendent or superintendent and whatnot. But because you were already present in the initial meeting, we kind of skipped those steps because you were already there. So ultimately, we are looking, or I'll speak myself. Personally, I'm looking to have Kyson's suspension removed because myself, Kyson's friend Iris Goodman, and her mother Megan have all discussed this numerous times, and both kids have been very adamant and have been very honest about the situation, and they both are stating that they did not do what they were suspended for. Iris also stated that she had tried numerous times with Sybil Snyder to explain, and that she was interrupted repeatedly and not able to give her side of what actually occurred, and that her and Kyson didn't actually do what was stated that they did with the throwing of the piece of paper and making the bomb sounds. They both state that they had nothing to do with that. They had their own thing that they were doing with the piece of paper. This other kid, Jackson, came in, got involved, and as soon as he did what he did, they both said that they were in shock. They stepped back and they wanted nothing to do with the game any further.
Ms. Pressler, real quick, I want to make sure that it's clear that we can only discuss Kyson in this phone call.
That's absolutely fine. I'm more just stating that, that there was the other involved parties. I'm not speaking for Iris. I know that her mother is already in contact with you guys. I am speaking for Kyson that, he was not involved.
Okay. And Kyson, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have done a withdrawal of Kyson from Success Academy.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Are you planning on enrolling him next academic year?
To Success? No, ma'am.
Okay. And so since you've withdrawn him, you want us to be retroactive on a suspension when he's no longer one of our students?
Yeah, because I don't want that being on his record. That follows these kids throughout their entire schooling career, and that can create issues. If for whatever reason Kyson turns around academically and becomes, high ability or whatnot, and he wants to go to a specialized school when he reaches high school or whatnot, that suspension on his record could potentially prevent that from happening, because there are schools out there that want kids that have not been in any trouble, and that could create issues. And regardless of that fact, the fact of the matter is that he is actually innocent from this, and he now has a suspension on his record for something that he didn't even do. And realistically, if you read the wording on the suspension, it reads that way as well.
And when you say it reads that way, can you just say that one more time?
So on his actual suspension, under the under the description section of it, it states students reported to their teacher that a small group of other students in the class had created a, quote, fake bomb out of paper and were talking about bombs. Kyson reports he put it on another student's desk while the other student made the sounds of a bomb blowing up. So, I mean, there is nothing in there that reads that Kyson really had anything to do with the actual bomb aspect of things.
Mm-hmm. And you've had a follow-up conversation. I know that you spoke with Dr. Boyd. And then did you also have follow-up conversation with Ms. Snyder?
No. She to date has not reached out to me.
Okay. And did you request this prior to withdrawal of Kyson from Success?
I'm sorry?
Did you request to have the suspension removed prior to his withdrawal?
Yes.
And was that in a meeting or a phone call, email?
So the date of the suspension and email was sent to Sybil Snyder. I don't know. Hang on one second. It was the date of the suspension. So on March 20th. So let me get in my email here real quick. I emailed Sybil Snyder. Just bear with me here. Okay, so on March 20th at 3:19 p.m., so that was after we had gotten home from the school, I sent her a very long email, which, I don't know, did Bridget Abston give you guys my full statement, including all of the attachments?
Potentially, she did. I would have to go back and look. I've gotten a couple of emails from Bridget.
Okay. So let me just read through this real quick and see the exact wording. Okay, so the initial email that I sent to Sybil Snyder does not explicitly state that I wanted the suspension removed at that point. So that may have been something that was discussed after that fact. But I did put on the record that Kyson and Iris both had consistent statements stating that they did not do what they were accused of doing in the suspension. Now, in regards to your question, to be a little bit more specific, yes, this I did request for the suspension to be removed prior to him withdrawing, and that was in my email to Bridget Abston.
Okay. So currently, can I ask where Kyson is enrolled in school?
I am homeschooling him, which I have done previously. We're just going back to it.
Okay, and is it a local homeschool that he is in?
It's me. I create the curriculum for my children.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Very good.
I did it previously when he was in first grade, and I'm doing it now again. And I'm also finding that materials that he should have understood in school, he was not understanding, and it took me literally one day to sit down and really work with him on it, and he started grasping the concept. So that's kind of concerning as well.
All right. Is there anything else that I haven't asked that you want to share in regards to the situation so that we can work on a resolution?
So I'm not sure what ended up occurring yesterday, but I do want to speak about another thing that's pretty concerning that I sent to Bridget as well, and me and Nathan Boyd had spoken about it yesterday. This is just unnecessary. So first and foremost, a parent retrieving their child's belongings from a school should never be withheld. Regardless if there's an official statement of withdrawal or not, my child's belongings do not belong to the school. And if I want to request my child's belongings from their locker, I have a right to my child's belongings. You guys have absolutely no right to withhold those belongings from me. And with that being said, so I had reached out to Mrs. Hall, requesting her to give Iris access to Kyson's locker to get his belongings. And in the response message that I got back to Mrs. Hall, she stated that she could absolutely do that, but I needed to officially withdraw Kyson before she could do that. That's not okay. There's no quid pro quo with that. It should have been, yep, absolutely, or no, you need to come and do it. Either way. But the issue is that they were making an issue of that they thought that Kyson was not officially withdrawn from school at that point, and therefore they were not going to give me his belongings to his classmate. That's not okay.
Real quick, I want to confirm, being Miss Hall, the classroom teacher,
whomever, the school, the teacher, else? I don't know who's talking to who's doing what in there. All I know is that I sent the request to Mrs. Hall, and Mrs. Hall responded back stating that the office said that she could not until Kyson was officially withdrawn from school.
Okay.
And secondary I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. I can address that.
Yeah, and secondary to that issue is, he had already been withdrawn from the school. I had called them the day before. I even sent that message to Mrs. Hall. He had already been, and I had actually explicitly asked for them to email me the form so I could fill out the form and send it to them. And the woman who had answered the phone had said, "Oh no, I can take it verbally right now over the phone." And she answered the standard questions. Where would the date of the withdrawal and where would he be attending homeschool? I told her home. She said, well, in case, records need to be sent over, what's the actual curriculum that you're using, like K-12 or whatever. And I said, no, he's not using that. I'm withdrawing to home school. And she's like, okay. So it had been done prior to that. So that shouldn't have even been an issue. But this was a very small thing and it got blown out of proportion, which is very aggravating on a parent's side. That this reached levels that it should not have reached. It was a simple request. I need Kyson's belongings. Iris has offered to get them. Either yes, Iris can get them, or no, you need to come and get them. But there shouldn't have been no, you can't get them until you withdraw your kid from school. No, that's not how this works. So that was very upsetting. And then to find out that even after all of that got resolved, they still would not let Iris get his belongings. They had another student that I did not authorize to go through his belongings, go and get his belongings and give them to Iris. That's, again, unnecessary.
Did you get all of his belongings back? Is there anything that you didn't get back that you had?
Yeah, I don't even know what he had in there. Iris said it was just like a bunch of papers and stuff. So she has his stuff. That's fine. Okay. So, that has been, ultimately resolved, except for the fact that Iris did inform us that she tried to get Kyson's art project from the art teacher. And by the time all of this other stuff had gotten resolved with the withdrawal and whatnot, the art teacher told Iris that after a kid is, quote, MIA for 2 days, she throws away their projects. Kyson isn't necessarily too upset about the project itself being lost because it doesn't even seem like he knows what it was. But he was pretty insulted that it had gotten thrown away because he was, quote, MIA, even though he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the frustration there, and and I will find out to see if we can't locate his art project.
Well, it's been thrown away according to the art teacher, which is fine. We're not missing it, but it's petty. The whole situation was kind of, it was unnecessary, and there was some pettiness to it. That really just shouldn't have even occurred, and just added to fuel to the fire, so to speak. Because we're already upset about, other things that are occurring. And then for that to happen, it's just more.
Just making the situation harder. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I apologize for the network on a situation being harder than what it needs to be. And so we will have communication, and we'll get better with those pieces. But I definitely want you to know we don't want to lose Kyson over this, and we, definitely want to be able to come to a resolution. It's very valid that you're frustrated with some of the circumstances that took place there. So I want you to, first and foremost, know that. On your end,
And there's one thing else that I wanted to bring to your attention. I'm sorry for interrupting, but there was also something that I forgot to mention to you. Sure. Yesterday, I spoke with Nathan Boyd in regards to some things that were stated by Civil Snyder during the suspension that it's kind of a red flag, and it needs to be addressed with the principal as well. And I believe she even said it to me as well when we were there that day, that she had questioned the kids as to whether or not she needed to check the cameras about the incident. And then come to find out, they don't have cameras in the classroom to check, which means that was her threatening our kids with an empty threat. Now, our kids had confirmed that they wanted her to do that because they wanted the truth out there. As educators and on my end as parents, it is our job to teach our children good morals, good values. And in my household, Kyson will tell you this. I could pull him out into the room right now and he will tell you this, that the number one rule in my house is honesty. That I don't do lying. I don't do misleading information, anything like that with my kids. I am honest with them and I'm straight up with them. And if I'm going to make a threat for them, it's going to be something that I can follow through with. So I don't appreciate a principal who should be, kind of the epitome of honesty and integrity to make a threat to kids that she couldn't even follow through on because it was built on a lie that there were cameras in the classroom that aren't there. That's really should be something that should be really frowned upon. It's unethical. It's unprofessional. While we are dealing with kids, we still need to treat them with respect and dignity.
Yeah, I don't disagree that we need to, treat students with respect and dignity. And we can have those follow-up conversations. Outside of the out-of-school suspension, is there anything else that we can do to figure out a resolution for this situation?
I don't know really, because a lot of this, there is so much he said, she said to this, but I think in resolution, I think that there needs to be, on the principal side of things, there needs to be things addressed about, with the misleading of the kids and the dishonesty. And, also with that incident with getting his belongings, again, something needs to be addressed there as well, because I don't know what I could have done better in that situation because I only did what I knew. And so to be sent on the runaround for something that really should have just been like, yeah, okay, no problem. It seems like we're putting parents through unnecessary hurdles to get to things. And there either needs to be some kind of policy reform with that or some kind of conversation with the individuals involved so that they understand what the policy is. And so parents aren't being sent through unnecessary stresses.
Yes, and we'll address that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if there isn't anything else, we'll have conversation on our end and work with Ms. Snyder as well to come up with a resolution. And I will, if I don't give you a call back today, I will give you a call back by Monday.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Lugville or Mr. Boyd, is there anything else that you guys might want to add, or you guys?
No, I was just going to say our goal obviously is to have students be safe in school and learn at deep levels. And you're clearly unhappy, with the situations that you talked about today. And so let us circle back and go through again what has transpired. And yes, we will be in touch.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. And Ms. Presser, I want to say thank you for, giving me the opportunity to get all this worked out and, get the people on the horn that we needed to get together. So thank you for your patience, and hopefully we can move forward.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Kressler.
Yep. All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Hey, Mom.